Hi guys, today's format is a little bit different. It's just a one-to-one talk between you and I. I will have a little script in front of me because I don't want to miss any of the points that I've written down to express during this video, but I will talk for as much as possible about these points. And in this first episode, we are gonna speak about haters, but haters are on the topic of why life is perfect. And in spite of all the possible negative events that surround our life, and they are so-called negative, but maybe we have to reconsider about the way we define them. And why is it life perfect? Well, this is just subjective, but as I said, life is perfect. And anything that happens to it, being this negative or positive, we can learn from it, especially from the negative events. Meaning that maybe these negative events just are there to tell you, hey, you gotta tweak or readjust your thought process, your thinking process, or how you have been doing things until the moment to get it back on track and achieve that end happiness that we all seek. So basically, it makes this type of thinking makes you accountable for the actions or the events that happen around you. And that is tremendously powerful because in the end, it gives you the power to define the way you live and how much you are responsible for whatever happens in your life, and makes yourself accountable, ultimately accountable, and that's great. This can be simplified to the saying, there are no negative emotions, just emotions poorly managed. I know it's really difficult to say, but it has some part of truth. And in this episode, I will speak not only about the fact that life is perfect, but I would like to apply it to the other sphere that has to do about haters, as you could see on the title and as I have mentioned earlier. So haters and how these have a repercussion in our lives and might make us seem that we are not worth the value, or that we are not doing great in spite of our aspirations, or whatever you want to tell it. For a moment I don't have any haters, but there might be a moment in this project where I bump into these haters and I receive comments that are a bit disgraceful, and they are not so pleasant to hear, to receive on daily basis. So I'm working on myself now and growing personally to make sure that by the moment that happens, I will be, if not fully prepared, I will be more prepared than the day earlier. So this is a way for a call to action to all of you, in the sense that I hope that I can help to as many of you, because this doesn't have to do only in the context of content creation, but it can happen to any other project that you want to embark in life. And sometimes we prevent ourselves from embarking into this project because we are afraid of these haters or any other critical opinion that we might receive from the outside. So here they go, 3 points why I think that life is perfect in spite of these critical comments, and how to tackle with them from a personal growth perspective. First of all, and really important, I will not say it's the most important of all points, but you gotta feel compassion for the person giving you those negative comments or giving you that harsh critique that is not at all constructive, especially if it is not constructive. Why you gotta feel compassion? Well, because I'm not saying that we all are haters, but I can speak for myself when I say that some days I'm not feeling so good, and maybe I'm not so empathic. I'm not give so much love as I give on the days that I feel fulfilled. And maybe sometimes it has to do, as it is in my personal case, because maybe that day I didn't start off the day well, I was not as productive as what I thought that I would be for the day, and that kind of creates a negative spiral during the day, in which I end up the day and the only thing I want to do is just going to bed, just killing that day, murdering, stabbing it from behind, and just waking up the day after with a fresh mind. And the sad thing is that sometimes along that day, I'm not so grateful about the things that go around me, and I don't spread as much love as I might do on the days that I feel more fulfilled. So why I say I feel compassion for those people is because maybe those people might not have the same level of self-awareness as what I have, meaning that I know the problem is there and it comes from me. I make myself responsible for it, and I put the means to change it. But those people are maybe not aware, and maybe they go day by day in this kind of spiral of negativity, and they kind of spread maybe they started off not in a good way, and then they spread hate because it makes them feel like they have the right, that they are giving some valid point to the video, but they are not really contributing much to it. So feel compassion, because if you are listening to what I'm saying, probably is because you are on this other side of the game, where you are just like trying to make something out of your life instead of just giving hate, let's say, and probably you live your life with more gratitude than these people. So feel compassion, because they are in a low point and maybe they need some kind of help. Secondly, and this is a bit different from the first point, is take the lesson. And why do I say it is a little bit different from the first point? Is because the first point I was referring purely to destructive criticism, whereas this one is more constructive criticism that aims at giving a better offering out of whatever you have to offer, being this a service, a product, a message that you want to spread, whatever. Constructive criticism, listening carefully and adapting your content accordingly, is something that might benefit you in a great way. I said content, but take this as in any business, you know, any business might crumble if it doesn't listen to their end customers and what they have to say about their product that they gotta offer. So it might be interesting for you, especially in the initial stages of your project, to just adapt accordingly to whatever your target audience has to say about your product. And that's why I say at the end of every video of mine, please leave in the comment section whichever feedback, and I really appreciate if you do that. I would more than love, because I want to grow this channel, I want to reach as many of you as possible, and I want to mainly help as many of you as possible in whichever way I can. I believe this message will be suited for a particular type of audience. They will be feeling more identified with my current situation, with my lifestyle, how I do things. And I think if I can just like reshape my message to make it more tailored to you, I can definitely make you more engaged and make the message more valuable. And of course I want to grow and learn, so that's why I will take any of your comments, especially if they are constructive, as any business, as I have said, will take any feedback coming from their customers. So really important, listen to constructive criticism. And third point, the most important, you build emotional resilience. Take this as a kind of training for your life. You become more stoic, and that's great to reach this kind of state of mind in which you are just caring less about things that go around you, caring less or giving less of a X, Y, and Z. And it will allow you to grow. Why? Because you will become more effective, and just keeping this type of balance in which you are like emotionally resilient while to the comments that you are receiving from the outside, the critics that you're receiving from the outside, and of course it comes with training, but while keeping this balance of receiving the feedback, listening to your end audience, and just like being stoic, of course it allows you to cope with anything that goes around you, of course, but you achieve your end goal by following the plan. You stick to the plan, you go with it, and just get to the point where you want to be without any kind of disturbances. Think of this as a kind of day trader that is trading in the stock market, purchasing stocks, and is exposed to a lot of volatility on daily basis. Of course, emotions can jump in, and he might make the wrong type of decision sometimes, but they will make sure that more than 50% of the times they are making the right type of choice, and they are selling or purchasing the stocks at the right moment, and they will not be moved about their emotions. They just have to stick to the plans. Of course, you are not a robot, you are not a machine. It's not always possible to do it all of the time, but if you manage to do it most of the times, then you will become more effective and you will stick to the plan, and that's quite important. So I wanted to end with this point. These are the 3 main points that I wanted to discuss for this video. I don't want to make it extensively huge and long, so that's all for now. Please leave a like if you enjoy this type of content, and in this video in particular, and what I have mentioned up until now. And also leave a comment if you have any feedback to provide. I say it in any video, and I also say it in this, of course. If you think my tone, the poses that I make, the content of the video, the audio itself, the video itself, anything can be improved, I would really appreciate. I want to make better, I want to reach more of you and help as many of you as possible, and make this message go broad and reach as many audience as possible. I'm sure it brings some value to some of you guys. And well, that's it. Subscribe to this video, of course, as in any other, and remember, the only constant in life is change. So just as in any other occasion, let's make change together.